Taiguai. That's a traditional Taíno greeting, and it's how we're going to kick things off today. Welcome, everyone. We are the creators of the Maestro Tikina channel, your place for exploring the amazing history and culture of the Caribbean's very first peoples. And today, wow, we have a story that is it's a story of profound betrayal. Get this, she welcomed the Spanish with music and ceremony. Just days later, she was hanged. I mean, it's one of the most shocking betrayals in history, and it's right at the heart of the story we're telling today. We're talking about the incredible story of Anacaona. Her name actually means golden flower in the Taíno language, and she was so much more than just a name. She was a chief, a poet, and ultimately a symbol of resistance, whose legacy you'll see still echoes centuries later. So if you're ready to get into this powerful story, do us a quick favor and hit that like button. And of course, subscribe to our channel. We've got so many more incredible stories about the Taíno people, their deities, their historic figures. You don't want to miss it. All right, so to really get a grasp on Anacaona's life, we have to travel back in time. We need to step into the vibrant, sophisticated world she was born into. And let me tell you, this was not some kind of empty wilderness. It was a land of complex, sophisticated societies. The island, which the Taíno people called Iet, was actually organized into 5 major political regions. You can think of them as chiefdoms or caciques. Each one had its own leader, its own culture, and Anacaona, she was from Xaragua, which was known far and wide as one of the most powerful and prosperous of them all. But Anacaona's importance went way beyond politics. She was a famous composer of what are called aritos. Now, these weren't just catchy tunes. They were like living libraries. They held the entire history, the spirituality, the memory of the Taíno people. She wasn't just a leader. She was a poet, a cultural guardian for her people. So when the Spanish ships appeared on the horizon, the Taíno leadership faced an absolutely impossible choice. And Anacaona and her husband, the fierce Chief Caonabo, they really came to represent 2 very different strategies for how to deal with this new reality. You see, Caonabo, who was a seriously powerful chief himself, his strategy was immediate, armed resistance. In fact, he's the one who led the attack that completely destroyed Columbus's first settlement, La Navida. Anacaona, on the other hand, she chose a different path, one of cautious diplomacy, of trying to build alliances. She was likely hoping to save her people and avoid more bloodshed. Caonabo's path, well, it ended in tragedy. He was captured by the Spanish, not in battle, but through deception, and he died while being shipped to Spain. After his death, and then later the death of her own brother, Bohechío, the full weight of leadership for the entire chiefdom of Xaragua fell right onto Anacaona's shoulders. She was now the sole cacica, the queen. And this is where the story takes its darkest turn. This brings us to the most tragic, the most defining moment of her life, the massacre at Xaragua in 1503. It's a moment that would seal her fate and define her legacy forever. So, the new Spanish governor, a man named Nicolás de Ovando, shows up in Xaragua with hundreds of armed soldiers. But he claims he's just there for a friendly, peaceful visit. Just stopping by to see the prosperous chiefdom. And Anacaona, staying true to her strategy of diplomacy, pulls out all the stops. She prepares this magnificent welcome. Feasts, dances, ceremonies, the whole 9 yards. She even gathered 80 of the region's most important leaders and subchiefs to come and honor Governor Ovando and his men. She was showing them the absolute highest respect. And then, right in the middle of all these festivities, the trap is sprung. Ovando suddenly accuses Anacaona and all of her assembled leaders of secretly plotting a rebellion. Now, it's pretty much universally agreed by historians today that this claim was completely fabricated. It was an excuse for what was about to happen. In a horrifying, premeditated act of pure betrayal, Ovando gave a signal. His soldiers grabbed the leaders, they forced them all into a large meeting house, and they set it on fire, burning all 80 of them alive. But Anacaona herself, she wasn't killed right there. She was arrested and taken away. Her death, however, wasn't the end of her story. Not even close. In fact, her execution is what transformed her from a political leader into this powerful, enduring symbol of resistance. She was dragged to Santo Domingo, put through a complete sham of a trial, and, of course, found guilty of treason. Now, according to the accounts of Bartolomé de las Casas, the friar who was there, she was offered clemency, a chance to live. The price? She would have to become the concubine of a Spaniard. And she refused. She chose a public hanging over dishonor. She was just 29 years old. Now, it's so important to remember how we know all these details. It's because they were written down by the colonizers themselves. A friar named Bartolomé de las Casas, he witnessed these atrocities, and he wrote about them, condemning the unbelievable cruelty he saw. So his writings give us this sympathetic portrait of Anacaona. But we always have to remember, it's still a story being told through a Spanish lens. Despite this tragedy, or maybe because of it, her story of defiance of dignity, it resonates so powerfully today. She is a national heroine in both Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Think about that. She's a rare, unifying icon for the entire island of Hispaniola, a shared ancestor of resistance. Anacaona's story is this stark, brutal reminder of the cost of conquest. But it also shows us the incredible power of memory and asks us, how does the story of one woman become the enduring symbol for an entire culture's survival for generations to come?